All righty, it's district breakdown time. We're talking 186A. I got Jon Poorman with me from the Houston Chronicle, and this is an all Houston ISD district. Last year it was Lamar that got back on top after a year down with Heights taking the district crown 2 years ago, but Lamar got back on top. Do you see them fighting through and winning a district title again in this 17 district?
Yeah, it's hard to pick against Lamar in this district. Of course, we all know about their tradition and, the huge string of district titles they won before Heights finally got them a couple of seasons ago. But yeah, I mean, they're the cream of the crop when it comes to the programs here. And, like I said, they have a great tradition. They have a returning quarterback in Kenneth Rosenthal, who showed plenty of potential last year as a dual threat signal caller for them. So, I think that they're probably the team to beat, especially considering that, their closest game was 13 points last season, I think, and they, blew out the second place team, Westside, I think 49-0. So that just shows you kind of the category that they're in here. But I mentioned Westside, they're poised for another good season as well, and they might very well have the best player in the district with running back Jabari Kirkendall returning for his senior season. I think that's how you say his last name.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but
Quick and dull, but hey, as long as we're saying Jabari, right, we're all right.
Jabari, great player. Rushed for more than 1,600 yards last year, and so I think he's going to keep them in the mix. Right there at the top. With Lamar.
They got a decent quarterback there too with Thaddeus Watson, but they had him last year and they lost by 7 touchdowns. So that's experience can help. Talking a little bit about Heights, they lose Jalen Morrison and the kind of the guys that got him that district title. How much of a step back do you think they might take? I feel like they're still a playoff squad, but how do you feel about the Heights Bulldogs?
Yeah, I feel like they'll definitely still be in playoff contention here. Obviously, you mentioned Jalen Morrison, and obviously he's accomplished a lot over the past couple of seasons. And they also lost a 1,000-yard receiver in Xavier Neal. So 2 guys on that side of the ball that really carried a big load for them. They have a good tradition though, and I think that they'll be in the mix for a playoff spot. Even with having to replace those 2 guys, and then. You go on down the line in this district, you look at Westbury, they got into the playoffs last year, but they lost 57-0 on the first round against Stratford. So, positioning in this district is important. Of course, they're getting, 17-6A on the other side in the bi-district round. So, there's some solid teams over there. So the higher up you can place in this district, definitely going to be the better.
It does seem like if any district, there's a certain tiers, and Lamar and Westside, maybe Heights, maybe Westbury are on a tier that's there's only 7 teams in the district. You only have to finish in the top 4, but there's such a big gap between those teams. How difficult is it going to be for a team like Chavez, and we talk about Math Science and Tech, to even compete for a win in that district? And then for the upper echelon teams, you talked about it, they're going to have 4 non-district games. They need to schedule as hard as they can, right, so that they're ready for 17-6A when it happens.
Yeah, that non-district schedule for these teams is going to be important, obviously, like you said, to play some higher level competition, maybe than what they'll see in the district schedule on certain weeks. But yeah, when it comes to, kind of the teams that didn't make the playoffs last year, for them, it's going to come down to those games they played between each other. Those are going to be super important when you're talking about fighting for the, maybe the 3rd or 4th playoff spot in this district. So, maybe if you're a team kind of in the lower rung, and maybe you don't beat Lamar, maybe you don't beat Westside, but you can pull out some wins, down the stretch of the season against some opponents near you in the standings, and find yourself with that number 4 seed or number 3 seed. You just never know how everything is going to shake out down the stretch.
Yeah, you got to find your win somewhere during the season, something positive to build on for the next season. So that'll be interesting, and even more interesting will probably be one of the toughest districts in the state that we talk about next week in 196A, and they just got tougher by adding Pato. So that should be interesting, and we will talk to you about that next week.
All righty, sounds good.